Start seated. Do a little hip warm up first and then stand up for the sitting bones behind you and into your cross-legged position. Oh, and don't forget, switch your legs around. Get your non-habitual cross. Activate your core, shoulders above your hips. Stretch your head to the ceiling, but your shoulders down. And a lengthening through the neck. And then breathe. And just take a moment, exhaling stress, inhaling all that energy, getting ready for whatever's coming ahead for you. And then warming up our spine a little bit. Let's tuck the chin, roll down, and just keep coming all the way toward your left. Feel the spine going into a nice little rounded stretch. And then start at the bottom of the spine and stack it back up. As you get to the top, lift your heart. Look slightly up, but don't crunch your neck too much. Stretch it out. And then again, just tuck in your chin, round down. Just slowly coming all the way. And then stacking back up. Coming all the way into the little upper body back bend. Stretch your neck, don't crunch it. And then sit upright. Take a moment and breathe. One hand on the floor, the other arm out, palm to the ceiling, over your shoulder, slide to the side. Get the ribs opening, push the sitting bone you're leaning away from down, so that both hips and both sitting bones are down. You can bring your elbow down or just keep sliding out for that stretch on the ribs. And then come on back up, release that arm, and switch your legs. And we'll go the other way. Arm out, palm to the ceiling, and over your shoulder. Remember, keep your shoulder down. Arm by your ear, slide away. And again, both hips down. And that arm sliding as far as you want, or bringing your elbow down. But keep the sitting bones still on the floor. Stretching it out. Both shoulders facing the front, no twist on this one. And then inhale back up and release. Once you're there, bring the shoulders back and down a couple times. And then arms out, palms up, hands over your shoulders, stretch. And exhale, turn for a twist. Hand to the outside of your leg, the other one right behind you. Push gently into the floor with your hand in your sitting bones, and then lift the hip you're moving away from slightly as you turn deeper into your twist. So hips, ribs, shoulder, everything turning, not just your neck. Stretch it up, exhale, just relax. And then inhale, bring the arms back up and release. And again, let's switch the legs and we'll twist to the opposite side. So again, arms out, palms up, hands over your shoulders, shoulders down. Stretch your head and fingertips up, exhale and twist. So you've got that spine stretching apart as you twist, remember. Hand right behind you on the floor, just gently push into it. Exhale, lift that hip you're moving away from just slightly and turn your hips, ribs, and shoulder further into the twist. Take a moment and breathe. Just let your body go as far as it wants. And then releasing your hands, bring them back up as you come around and back into your seated position. Lift your knees out into staff position. Pressing out through your heels and sitting bones behind you, core active, round to the side. Keep the shoulders relaxed. Bring your foot up to your opposite thigh and let the knee come down for that hip stretch. If it's tight today, bring the leg over. Keep the knee and toes up, whichever position you keep it in. You can add weight with your hand, remember, but don't push. You don't want any resistance. We just want relaxing so that those muscles release and the knee comes further, letting that hip get a little release. And then bring your foot and knee into your hands or pull your arms around, pull the leg in, And side to side rotation, getting that hip again a little bit more warmed up. Stay there or make it more intense with the higher or closer if that works for your body. And release that leg. Feel the difference. So balance your body, do the other side. Bring the foot up, knee coming down. Let it relax, just stay there, or make it a little easier with that pelvic opening. Take a breath. Just keep relaxing. Knee coming down, just gently on its own or with the weight of your hands, but not pressure. Never pressure. Pressure is not our yoga way. Take a breath. Just relax. And then bringing the foot and knee into your hands or pulling it in. Move that hip back and forth, side to side rotation. The rotator joint working a little bit as you breathe. And again, make it intense if you love it or don't. Always a personal practice. Just nice warming up. And then releasing that leg, bring it back out, and let's come into child pose. So hips back on your heels, hands by your sides, just relax down, shoulders toward the floor. Right. And stretch your spine. And then bring your arms way out in front, right in front of your shoulders. Spread your fingers. Plant the palms, come up on your hands and knees. Move those knees hip width apart, feet straight back. Tuck your toes under. We're going into down dog. Just briefly, so lift your hip knees, pull your chest toward your thighs, arms by your ears, and then push your hips up and your heels sink. Coming into your V-shaped down dog. Stretching up. So the sitting bones push up and back, the heels down and the head toward your hands. Arms are right next to your ears next to your arms. And then exhale, walk your hands back toward your toes and hang them ragdoll. Take a moment there, just hanging, feel that spine stretch. And then inhale and slowly work your way up into mountain pose. Take a moment there, feet hip width apart, coming into mountain pose. Shoulders relaxing down and back. Bring your arms out, palms to the ceiling, hands right over your shoulders. And we keep working those hips a little bit with our squat. So chair squat, arms stay by your ears, shoulders down. Push your hips back and keep your knees behind your toes as you come into your squat as deeply as you need. Stretch out through your arms, sink back through your hips, and then exhale, pivot over, coming into ragdoll, and just do a nice little roll up into mountain pose. Take a moment and breathe, and step to the end of the mat. Again, hands to your heart this time, inhaling up, looking at your hands, coming into that little back bend with the thumbs behind you and the chest lifted. And then swan dive forward, exhale all the way over into ragdoll. Hands up on your shins under your knees for your halfway up stretch. So elbows, knees, spine, everything goes straight, stretching it out. And then we're bending your knees, hands to the floor right under your shoulders, and take your right foot back for a lunge. Push back through your heel, knee above your ankle. Make sure it doesn't go out or in. And stretch your hips forward. Bring your knee down toward the floor, pat if you need to. Kind of put it on top of the kneecap, not right on the bone. And then slide that leg back, feel the stretch. So hip flexor stretch here. Letting those hips come straight down. You can stay there if that's good, or you can bring your hands to your front knee and come up and then sink straight down, getting that hip a little bit more stretched open right on the front. Take a breath. Lift your heart slightly, drop your shoulder blades. And then hands back to the floor if they aren't already. Tuck your toes under, but lift your knee, not your hip, coming back into your lunge. And then push forward and relax and ragdoll, releasing that hip. Feel the difference on the two sides. And then hands together, inhale, come all the way up and lift your heart. Another little back bend, feel the stretch on the whole front of your body. And another swan dive over. Exhale all the way down. Into your halfway up stretch, lengthening everything. And then bending your knees, hands under your shoulders on the floor, and left foot back into your lunge. Spread your toes on that front leg. Check your position of your knee. Don't let it go out or in. Have that whole bottom of your foot supporting you. Push back through your heel. Bring the hip down as far as it wants to go. And then again, knee to the floor. Slide those toes back and relax. Hips straight down. Staying there or coming up with the hands gently on your knee. Chest forward. Hips sinking. And maybe look slightly up, but keep stretching your neck. So just deepening through those hips, both hips as evenly sinking as possible. Breathing, just relaxing. And then again, bring your hands down, tuck your toes, lift your knee only, not your hip. Stretch, keeping that spine as straight as you can. So your heel, ankle, knee, hip, shoulder, and head are lined up. And then again, push forward, releasing the hips and ragdoll. Inhale, slowly working your way back up. And again, toward the ceiling, another stretch into that whole front of your body. Exhaling back into mountain pose. Take a breath, exhaling any tension. Just let your arms relax, stretch your head up, bring your hands onto your back, elbows toward each other. Just give yourself another little stretch on the front, lifting your heart. Stretch your head, excuse me, slightly back. Slightly back. And feel those hips stretching open on the front. And then exhale, chin toward your chest, releasing back into mountain pose. Bring your hands together. Inhale them toward the ceiling. Another little back bend and a swan dive forward. Arms coming out. Pivot at your hips all the way down and into our halfway up stretch. So stretch and straighten everything. Elbows, knees, and spine straight. And then again, we're going to the floor, back into our child pose. So hips back on your heels, hands palms up, forehead toward the floor. Take a moment, breathe in. Exhale, finish. And then bring your hands to the sides of your mat. And right in front of your shoulders. And pivot up into table position. So get that spine working, ribs up to support your low back, nice straight back. Spread your fingers, and we're bringing the right knee forward and the left leg back, coming into our pigeon pose. So with the right knee forward, we're going to bring the right knee over toward the side of the mat and pull the heel toward the front of the mat. So you can get your shin perpendicular to your body if that works for you, or less. You can have that heel back toward your hips. Don't have it too much under the hips because we're sinking those hips down and the chest forward. So in your pigeon, you're stretching that left hip flexor on the front of your left leg back behind you. And you're working the hip rotator on this right leg that's bent up in front. So chest forward, shoulders down. Maximize that stretch along the front of your body, or you can minimize if you need to with the forearms on the floor. Keep the shoulders both even, hips sinking evenly down toward the floor. You can stay on your forearms for a couple of breaths, or you can be on your hands, getting a little bit more bend into that upper body for a little bit more stretch on the front on that left leg. Take a breath, but keep the hips sinking evenly, whatever position you're in. And then coming back onto your hands, chest slightly lifted. Drop your shoulder blades, press into your hands, and pull the front knee back and the back knee up, coming back into table position. Get those ribs up, support your spine, don't let that low back sink. Feel your body, and then sink back, hips toward your heels in that extended child pose. Stretching out through your arms, sinking back through your hips. A little release. Spread your fingers, and again, come on back up. And of course, we're going to do our pigeon to the other side. So left knee comes forward between your hands, and right leg slides back. Chest forward, shoulders even, hips even, sink it down toward the floor. Just gently feel that. And then move your left knee to the left and the heel up further into your position. And again, as you do that, those hips need to stay even, sinking toward the floor. Shoulders down, shoulder blades toward your waist. Bring your chest forward and crown up. Feel that nice back bend, just gently through your whole spine. And again, stay there, enjoying that stretch, or get a little easier with your hands a little bit forward and forearms on the floor, your choice. Keep the hips sinking down toward the floor evenly. Keep the chest even, facing that end of your mat. And don't forget to keep breathing. Exhaling, letting the hips sink, feeling that stretch on the right leg, feeling that hip rotator working on the left. If you want to keep moving that foot forward on that other leg, on that left leg, you can do that. Personal practice always, whatever is right for you. And then if your forearms are down, go ahead and bring your hands to the mat, under your shoulders. Stretch the chest forward and head up and back slightly. Feel that arch. And then pushing into your hands, bring your front knee back and the back knee up, back into table position. Move those hips in a nice little circle, both directions. And then back in the middle, once more, sink into that extended child pose. Stretch the arms, release the hips. Take a breath, just exhale, tuck your chin, slide your hands back, and again, come into half position. Take a moment to breathe, getting that core working, crown toward the ceiling. And we're going to do our little diving dolphin. So bring your right foot into the inner left thigh, knee out to the side. Stretch your spine. Exhale, bring that left heel back near your left hip, not under it. Keep that hip slightly up because we're twisting. Stretch your spine apart, round to the ceiling, but shoulders down. Exhale, turn towards your right knee. Hand on your leg or the floor, ribs coming in, tuck the chin, and guide your dolphin down. Exhale, forehead toward the knee, and then face to the front. Keep stretching the back of your neck as you come up in a little back bend, lifting your heart as you breathe in on the way up. Exhaling, diving under the water. Inhale, coming up to the sun and the sky. You're the dolphin. Exhaling, rounding, feeling that whole spine working along with your breath. And inhaling fully and completely as you come up. Pause at the top. Exhale around to the center, releasing into step. Feel your body a little bit more energized from that little twist, and we'll do the other way for our dolphin dive. So bring that left foot to your inner right thigh, heel back near your hip. Keep that hip slightly up and that spine stretching apart, the core active, shoulders down, exhaling into your twist. facing that left knee. Core coming in, chin tucking as well as you exhale the forehead down. And then inhaling, lift that face forward and up, inhaling to the top as you go. And again, rounding, feeling that whole spine working along with your breath as you go, exhaling down into the water and then up to the sun and the sky. And just keep circling and circling as you're ready. And when you come up next time to the top, lifting your chest but not your shoulders. Exhale, turn back to the center, and again, release your legs. Take a moment in staff position, pressing out through the heels, up through the crown, feel the core, and stretch. And then bring your legs to the end of the mat, still in staff position, core activated as you roll to the mat. So come on down onto your back. Take a moment, reclined integration on the floor, shoulders down, release your hands just softly. Keep your feet hip width apart, and then sitting down slightly toward your heels as you bend your knees and bring the heels in right next to your sitting bones. Take a moment there, spread your toes, make sure those knees don't spread apart or cave in together, but stay straight up. Press your back down, feel that core working. Hands next to your palms down. We're going into a bridge. So inhale, bring those hip bones up, press into your feet, and lift your hips and ribs up toward the ceiling. Clasp your hands underneath you, bring the little finger inside, and then work onto your hands and arms, coming up onto the tops of your shoulders a little bit more. Lift your heart, lift your hips, make sure those knees aren't spreading apart, sink evenly down into your feet. Take a breath, lift the hips maybe a little more, keep them as even as you can, and then release your hands, your shoulders, shoulder blades, legs, and spine. Take a moment there, check your knees, make sure they're still where they're supposed to be, sink evenly into your feet, and of course, you're going to do that one more time. This time, clasping those hands the opposite way underneath you. So again, press down, exhaling, inhaling, lift those hip bones straight up. Bring your hands underneath, clasp with the other little finger inside, and again, work up onto your arms and shoulders. Take a breath, make sure your neck isn't pressing into the floor, your head is on it, your shoulders are supporting you, your feet. Check your knees, make sure they're hip width apart. Push those hips maybe a little higher along with the ribs, all the way up toward the ceiling. Take a moment in your bridge position, just feeling it. Maximize or minimize, remember personal practice as your body's ready. And then exhaling again, hands releasing, shoulders releasing, and spine just winding all the way back. As you get all the way to the floor, just take a moment, feel everything, check your knees, move your head, make sure that neck isn't being overworked. And we're going to go up into some variations of bridge. So exhale, pressing down. Inhale, bringing those hip bones up, clasping your hands, pressing into your arms, moving onto your shoulders. Get a good support, check your knees, make sure they're still hip width apart, straight up. Keep those hips evenly lifting toward the ceiling, press sinking into your feet and arms and shoulders. Make sure your head is working on the floor, not your neck. And then we're going to bring one foot up and extend it out parallel to the thighs. So just stretch out through the toes, through the base of the toes. Get that whole body as straight as you can. Breathe, lift the hips maybe a little bit more evenly. And then bend the knee, bring the foot back to the floor. Again, press into the feet and arms. Release the hands, shoulders, shoulder blades, legs, and spine. Take a breath. And of course, yes, you have to balance and do the other side. So once again, relax the shoulders, press the back gently down. Hands next to you, palms down, press into your feet, inhaling those hips straight up. Press the other way again underneath you, just for balance, and bring your arms into the floor as you come onto your shoulders a little bit more. Lift the hips and ribs evenly toward the ceiling. Press into your feet, make sure those knees are still hip width apart, don't spread them out, and bring your left leg up. And again, get those thighs as parallel to the floor as they want to be. Hips lifting evenly toward the ceiling, even though you're only on one foot. Stretch it out, breathe into it, lift the hips, and then bend the knee, put the foot back on the floor, and again, straighten it out, releasing the hands, releasing the shoulders, shoulder blades, ribs, and spine. Take a moment there, and bring your knees up toward your heart, and give yourself a good stretch on the back. You can give yourself one of those appreciative yoga hugs for that work with your hips today. And then get on the floor, just give yourself a little circle along the back, releasing and relaxing through the hips. And then hands down, feet to the floor, just slide them out, and bring your arms out to T position. Hands, palms up or down, your choice for doing our bent knee twist. So go ahead, sitting bones toward your heels, heels in next to your sitting bones, knees straight up, and press your back gently down. Cross your leg if you want to, or just keep them next to each other, and then bring your foot off the floor. So take a moment there, exhaling, bring that knee over toward the side, toward the floor, as you turn your head to the opposite direction. Take a breath. Exhale. Remember, hand under your knee if you need to. Turn your head if that works for your neck. And keep those shoulders down, everybody, for that middle back to twist as well. Take a breath. Hands, palms up or down. Try them both ways. See how that works through your shoulder area and upper back. Exhale. Let those knees maybe come a little further toward the floor as you release that spine with the exhalations. Deepen into your twist only as far as your body naturally goes. Don't force it. And relax. And then bringing your heels back toward your hips. You can roll onto your back. If you crossed your legs, uncross them. You can straighten things out if you need to. And again, bringing your feet up, or crossing the other leg over, roll the knees right at hip level toward the floor. Turn your head the other way, getting that whole body into your twist. Take a breath, hands, palms up, palms down, check it out for that upper back area. Exhale. Just let those knees keep sinking toward the floor. And keep both shoulders down. Take a breath, just relax into it whenever you're ready. Breathing deep, just relax. And of course, holding those twists on your own is a good thing on your own. But for now, just go ahead, heels toward your hips, go onto your back, uncross things if they were crossed, bring them back out, and your hands next to your sides into our final relaxation corpse position. Shoulders down, hands, palms up, move those hips around, release them completely. Toes toward each other to start with, and then just relax. Deep breath in. Exhale, just let your body grow heavy. Let it sink into that surface beneath you. Deepening into the earth support. With each breath, just release and relax any parts that still feel tight, especially through the hips, through the midsection, maybe the shoulders and legs as well. Just let them all go. Roll your head side to side, release any tension in your neck or jaw, And just let your whole body relax completely. As your body releases into that earth embrace, just let it go. Allow your awareness of your body to release from your attention. And as that releases, just allow any new thoughts come to you to release as well. Remember that it's the job of your mind to keep producing thoughts. It's your choice whether you pay attention. At this moment, you can let the thoughts go. No need to remember the past. No need to fear the future. No need to think about the content of any of your thoughts. Just let them drift away as easily as your breath. As your thoughts drift and your body sinks, let your awareness release both your body and your mind, relaxing completely, deepening into only the awareness of the peace deep within. Take a few moments relaxing into peace. And of course, keep relaxing if that's an opportunity for you today. And if it's time for your preparation for the rest of your day, just begin breathing more deeply and stretching gently as you inhale the energy back to the moment, to the room, to the body. So breathe more deeply, stretch more completely, and whenever you're ready for that final yoga hug appreciation, and you're sitting bones toward your heels and your heels toward your hips. Press your back gently down and draw your knees toward your foot. Wrapping your arms around that appreciative yoga hug. Let your body know you appreciate its yoga work today and the work your body does for you every day. And then bring your head to the floor. Maybe give yourself a little circle again on that low back for a little bit extra massage. And then bring your feet down, roll to the side, sit back up, be ready for the rest of your day today. Thanks for joining me.